Hi, this is Celeste with crazy hair day, but I guess it suits what I am going to share today. I've got some very important news that what is coming next, you need to know. I did provide detailed information. If you want that quality and detail of the information, you can join me at celestialreport2.com. That is how it's, being, that's who's bringing you this. I'm a little bit rattled because I've been running around the house doing my own preps because of this information. So what I'm going to be doing is reading to you my statement about what is coming next. Take it to heart, and I will stick around and answer any questions after I read my statement. So let me get to the statement here. Okay, this is a document that I acquired about the tools and techniques and deterrence operations. And I'm going to start with a quote. The very spark that marks us as a species, our tool making ability to bend nature to our will, also gives us the capacity for unmatched destruction. And this is a quote from Barack Obama, and this is now operational. So basically, hell was secretly voted on by the UN during the solar eclipse on July 8th. The official UN declaration seizing the planet was made on the fall equinox, September 22nd. For my subscribers, some free content, as well as guest interviews, I began my methodical and exclusive coverage at the beginning of 2024. My coverage spanned a large variety of topics in my keynote presentations on the pandemic timeline, going way back, and then to current time, Lair of the Dragon, about the chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, explosive, environmental, electronic, and there's one E I'm missing. The color of evil, the technology that is being used, new technology that, at least from my purview, has not been covered by other sources. And then finally, the UN obliterates all boundaries. So, what's on your mind and what's on my mind is what will happen next. So, what happened was there was a document that was released that gave the playbook for the end times. So, this is going by the book, the Bible, foretold by the prophets, Jesus, the scribes, thousands of years ago. And as of September 22nd, when the official declaration was made, we have a counterfeit global narrative. That's the Counterfeit Bible. That is Luciferian. So here are the details that you need to know for your loved ones. There is going to be yoked air, that means an integrated weapon system, as I've talked about so often, aircraft, ordnance, and other weapons to facilitate delivery in kinetic engagements. Significant chemical and biological releases to leverage biopower in the non-kinetic and kinetic domains. What is non-kinetic warfare? It includes things such as information operation, influence operations, and information manipulating. Key leader influencers are going to persuade or change your behavior. Lawfare, using the legal mechanisms to constrain or disrupt your opposition to the illegal and evil operations. Criminal legal action, pursuing criminal charges against individuals and organizations to disrupt that are trying to attempt to disrupt UN activities. Security detentions, asset freezes. This is only a partial list. My subscribers receive the full list of all the planned operations against regular, ordinary, people and citizens in the United States and around the world. So, what is kinetic warfare? It includes physical engagements, all manner of weaponry, including hard weaponry and soft weaponry, and lethal force against you, your loved ones, and friends. Any person that is considered a burden, a risk, or a threat will be defined, identified, and targeted for elimination. This is all inclusive, whether you are a current threat or potentially a future threat. Disruptive effects incurred by deterrent intervention will last anywhere from 2 months to 10 years in duration until everyone complies or is depopulated. There will be new demonic manifestations as a consequence of the portals and the UN declaration. This will include the construct and the embodiment and the revelation of the Antichrist. The coming operations will include and induce the following. There will be a fear factor to induce you to give up your personal and country sovereignty. The fear of a recognized or unknown chemical biological threat, but it's not solely just chemical and biological, can significantly influence decision makers in the decision making processes and the resultant political, economic, and military postures. Ambiguity and uncertainty. There will be a plethora of misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Due to the UN Pact for the Future, you may be charged and or executed for spreading any of these. What is malinformation? We all know what misinformation and disinformation is, but what is malinformation? It refers to factual information that is shared with a malicious intent, such as to harm a person's reputation, such as the UN, or to create chaos. It is distinct from misinformation, which is false or inaccurate information, and disinformation, which is intentionally false or misleading information spread to deceive or manipulate. There is also going to be a plethora of low cost, high impact operations. I think there will be many symbolic using an algorithm known as Carver that will impact the economy. There is going to be a triple helix at play in many of these operations and dimensions. If you want to learn more, subscribe at celestialreport2.com. There is going to be a radical leveling. I cannot express this strong enough. At the beginning of 2000, the term leveling the playing field is, I first began to hear it in governmental circles. Now they have stepped it up. They're talking about radical leveling, which is more than just hurricanes. It is radically leveling rights, radically leveling economies, radically leveling the environment, and so forth. And these are going to be employed for deterrence initiatives. This means that every facet of our life will be demolished, and the Great Reset and all the globalist plans are operational at this time. The powers that be intend to change the hearts and mind, your heart and mind, by altering your will and capacity to fight. That really began at the beginning of COVID. They want you to bend the knee to the collective, both in your cognition, your emotions, and your behavior, and view them as the domain masters. So I'm coming public with this. I want you to be prepared, be safe under the shadow of his wings. Do not fear, for they feed on fear. God bless each one of you and those you love. And I will take any questions if you have any as soon as I get out of this. My computer's acting up. Hold on. Nothing like not being a techie talking about tech. Okay. So, um, let's see. Let me try and go up to the top of the questions if I can. I'm not very good at this. I'm kind of a newbie at live stream. Okay, so hopefully it stays up. I don't know. This was an action-packed statement. I've got people of prayer keeping me covered um, because this is dangerous information to share with y'all. Let's see. Yes, Republicans, everybody is following the agenda. Is the UN gonna unleash their army in the US? Absolutely, and many other things. Many other things. They've got dimensional stuff. They've got all sorts of stuff. Really, I went into a lot of detail last night. It was like everybody had deer in the headlights by the time I was done last night sharing with my community. Yep, propaganda. Yeah, yeah, cute. Absolutely. I know, Kristen, I don't consent either, but there's going to be consequences, and we all have to count the cost. Just like before I did this statement, I had to count the cost. What can we do to prepare? This spiritually is the best way. If you need last minute items of any kind, they're going to decimate the um, supply chain. But that said, they also want to extricate you from your house, either by disasters or invasion or other things. So you have to have two plans. You have to have one plan to shelter in place and another plan to go um, and learn how to live off the land. Um, I think I'm not going to answer the one about Trump. Um, I think that if you get at any level of government, there's dirt on you and consequences if you don't go along with the consensus, which is now ruling the planet, and that comes from the UN. Tracy is asking, is all the water going to activate the environmental hydrogels? Well, they're already being activated, and of course the sun is flaring still. We're still in a solar maximum, and so it's just not good news on the energy front. It's really between the DARPA weapons and the military weapons, they really are messing with. And then even God is pouring energy into the atmosphere, which really isn't a surprise. Did this start the Great Tribulation? Yes, fear no man. I do believe that on, um, well, it depends. You could quibble over whether it was April or in September that the 3.5 years that I believe that we're here before the wrath of God has begun. Um, I'm not giving the source of my information because my sources are getting very slim at this point, and where I got this source is one of my regular sources, and let's just say I need to protect my sources so that I can bring you information because I can interpret it. I mean, it's very complicated, it's government, it's military, and so I can break it down. Like last night I kind of did for my community the whole thing because I didn't have time to shorten give you the abbreviated portion. So I am not going to share at this time because I don't want that source to dry up. We need as much information as we can for situational awareness. I'm not a doctor. I'm just plain old Celeste. Um, I'm as ready as any of us can be, although I am running 100 miles an hour just to prepare my own home, getting ready for whatever's going to hit the Midwest. So I'm working like I fall into bed at night just exhausted. Let's see, when will this happen? Gary is asking. It has already happened. It started being phased in really with COVID. The next big step was this whole year has been jam packed with the infrastructure for this to go operational. Crypto or Bill Wright is asking crypto or gold. Um, I don't know in what context. Crypto, they are going to, because of the digital compact by the UN, that's going to be the currency of the land. But if you want alternatives that have withstood the history and time, gold and silver are always a benefit because you can bribe an invading army if you try and give them $1. It's not going to work. And crypto may or may not. It just depends. I think that there's going to be several types of crypto. So it's going to be very chaotic. I was in West and East Germany at the fall of the Berlin Wall, and it was chaos over there. And that's exactly the Holy Spirit told me that this was coming to the United States. So it was sent a chill down my spine, and here we are. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm older than you are, and you don't really need a go bag, a spiritual go bag, and skill sets that you can take anywhere with you. Um, it doesn't isn't any weight at all, and you will be valuable to somebody. Whoops, let's see what else here. Yes, trust in Yahuwah. Yes, rise up unafraid. That is why the homes were destroyed in North Carolina and why um, Florida is I mean, it is hurricane season, so let's not over dramatize, but they are using these disasters. And I live in the Midwest and I'm expecting a brutal winter because of La Nina. And don't flood me with comments. I know that neutral years are worse than the La Nina, but I just it's my bones. I feel it's not bad. It's bad news. And when I went to town last week, um, they were getting ready for massive changes. So yes, I we discussed the water last night in my community. Did you know that the Germans own most of the water supply in the United States, even in your smaller communities? So check that out. Check, follow the money, look at the fine print in on your water bill, and also call your water company. And don't take no for an answer, "Oh, no," we're not. You have to do some digging and research. Oh, they've been playing with dry ice and freezing. Like, when I was still living in Montana, they were playing with the freezing temperature. Like, it would freeze at 50, and then at 0, stuff wasn't freezing. So they actually have been doing this, for some time. It's in the journals that I go to. I go through 150 journals, each with 50 studies, about once a week. They come out twice a week, but I can't keep up with the news right now. It's, impossible. Juby Joe, how soon? It's already operational. So it's already operational. So you're just going to have to not fear, but just be prepared. Be prepared for any type of situation. And when things change in the field, you have to adapt. And that's what we're all going to have to do. Like, I had my whole day and I wanted to do something. Now, after this, I have to download my community meeting last night so it doesn't get lost in the cloud. And I hadn't planned on that. I planned a complicated meal that I was making today because everybody here is working really hard. And so you just have to adapt. So that's what I'm doing. And then I put my dinner in the oven and came straight to visit with you all and tell you about the situation. Um, let's see here. Let's see. Any other questions? What will they? I don't know about the specific Deanne's will. I don't know about specific areas. Could be earthquakes. Um, it could be some other things. I don't know if you're in Northern California or Southern California. Of course, drought is going to play a factor. Environmental, I think, is going to be really big. They're going to hit the environment. The uh, what are those species that are protected, endangered species? I think you're going to have a really hard time. Like if they find it so much as a gnat that's endangered on your property, it's going to be trouble. Who do I think? Who do I think is coming across the border? I think that there's a lot of people coming across the border right now from the United Nations, from other countries, um, and and people that they've just said, give them a few bucks and they'll do whatever they want. Let's see. Is the UN sorry if I mispronounce your names, you guys, I'm sorry. Herman Gilt. Um, is the UN Army already in place? Well, they've got all of they were just funded during September. Between this month they were funded. So now they're putting their enforcement together. But with the weaponry these days, they don't need much with direct energy weapons, scalar weapons, that type of thing. Yes, there will be invading armies, but all they have to do is flick a switch, and that doesn't really take a standing army for that. Have I heard of the plan of flooding by draining the Great Lakes? Um, Pretty much the plan for a long time has been flood the east and burn out the west. So that's my comment on that. Let's see. Yeah, Tampa has plans to be a green city if it's not underwater, but I don't know that it's going to be this time, but that was the plan. Let's see. Yeah, there were actually a lot of changes in the post office. I would say that started about 10 years ago. Well, maybe 10 years before COVID. And they were planning some things for the US Postal Service. So be very cautious at the US Postal Service. Just saying. Um, yeah. For those of you that have wells, your time of free water is probably going to be over. Yes, Jennifer Wilson, there are wildfires in Wyoming right now, and it was just heartbreaking to see the the elk and stuff running. I was in a wildfire in Montana, and it was heartbreaking. The elk and stuff, their little hooves and stuff just melted. It was pretty bad. Let's see. Um, MW, and you've got long numbers. The goal is 2030. They've moved that up to 2025. During the Pact for the Future, they said that they wanted to accelerate that. And I knew that because the military was already saying 2025. And that was back when transhumanism was being announced. So let's see. Okay, how Juby Joe, how do you sign up for the community? It is at Celestial Report 2, the number 2.com. Let me just type it in the chat. And hopefully I won't lose my spot here. Okay, I think I did. Okay. I lost. Is there a way out to no. There Patty Wilson, there is not a way out at this point. This it's written in the Bible that these things, every little jot and tittle was going to have to be fulfilled. And so we are in those times. So we just look up, for our redemption draweth nigh. Really, I want you to keep your peace and your joy in the midst of the whirlwind. And I know that's hard to do, but I can tell you, I've been running around this house doing this, doing that, doing the other thing. And it could be very stressful, but in a way, I'm kind of excited because this is going to be the end of evil. Evil is going to be given its due and its time, and then it's going to be over. Yes, MW. The plan is that we will own nothing and be happy. And there isn't a way out of the UN. There could have been earlier on, but not now. It's too late. They've basically seized the planet as of the September 22nd. I don't do Apple, Oscar, I don't do Apple Pay or Google Pay. You can pay with your Visa card, your debit card, PayPal, but I don't do Apple Pay or Google Pay either. Um, I also have Stripe. Oh, there's another one, Square, Stripe and Square as well. Let's see. Yes, God's people have been so amazing in the mountains of North Carolina. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see the courage of people, the kindness, reaching out to one another. And I just pray, my prayer is that each of you will reach out, especially to the elderly and vulnerable. Please, God stretches out his hand to us in so much generosity in so many ways. And I pray that you reach out your hand and your resources to other people. Let's see. Oh boy, this is a name. Benjamin Vandenberg, Y-Ban, uh, the yes, well, it's not the people that are the antennas, it's the technology that they put in us via smart, dust, and nanotech, and that we each have an IP address. Yep, there's no hope in this world, but we do have hope in the next, and that can keep us smiling through the hard times. Yes, this is just a temporary place. Notice at your Walmarts and your stores if there's these orange, they could be red, they could be yellow pillars, and they're about 1 foot apart in front of Target, Walmart, Costco. They're starting to put pandemic signs back up on the doors as you come in. Um, so check those out. Those are to limit how many people can go in. SWAT can come in. In Montana, they had it barricaded. So only one person could come in. You can't drive a vehicle like if you were going to go in for a store. If you live in a small rural town, we had a COVID at the beginning of COVID. I lived 2.5 hours from the city, and we had raiding parties from the city coming up, and all the little fishing places that just have beer and a pizza and some thing of beans and some bait, they were just decimated. And so finally what happened is they put chains on the door. Us locals had to bring our phones, call in, and then they'd let us in, and we were only allowed so many things to take that we could buy, and then it kept the other people out. Well, Kelly Powell, I will keep you in prayer. Be safe down there, and if you receive an evacuation order, and I'm talking not just about Florida, I'm talking about in any of the disasters that we are going to see from this day forward, If you receive an evacuation order, please heed it because there's some really nasty disasters in this document that I just read to you. Um, but the thing is with that is you need to understand you may not get back to your house. In the wildfire that it was near my house in Montana, it was 3 months of martial law. We had tanks in the street, we had military with automatic weapons, and if you went out of your house, you did not get back in. So you need to just think about that and be prepared now. Well, Creator's Child, I'm looking forward to meeting all my YouTube friends. I mean, this is going to be, this is, you all are the silver lining for what I do. I have to go to some very dark places to get the research that I do bring to you. And it's to have you prepared, not to scare you or anything, but you all are the silver lining and you are actually part of, I mean, I've got the heavenly cloud of witnesses up above, but you're my earthly cloud of witnesses cheering me on right now to get you the information that you need. Yes, Lisa Krause, Jesus does save, and he's going to save us from all of this. Yeah, Patty. Sometimes I feel like I own nothing, but I do have a lot, really, in the light of many people around the world. Yes, LD, I believe that the 7-year tribulation started on the, oh, you think it was on the 17 or 2017. Well, things were not quite in place. Those ducks were not in a lined up yet. They were getting there, but they weren't lined up. Uh, let's see. If you go, I put what I just presented to all of you at sorry, Celeste Report 2, number 2.com under free articles. It's not pretty. My admin is in the eye, or not the eye of the hurricane, but it's going to hit her. And so I'm on my own, so it's not pretty. But at least I got it up. So feel free to share this video. Please share the video. It's really important that people get this information gets out. This is the most succinct, powerful document that I've seen, other than when they let the Great Reset out, when I broke that story. But this was succinct. I mean, this was like full of power. This was like the playbook, basically. And that's why I felt compelled to bring it to all of you. So that's where you can get it at celestialreport2.com. It is a free report, but that's just a summary. If you want all the details, join my community, and then you'll have access to what I presented last night in all of its detail. And I will be getting more things up in the next day or two about it. I just, with the hurricane and logistics, and I have a brand new website, it's kind of a little bit difficult to do all these things at one time. Let's see. Lori Winger Bordessa. So we will probably all have nano. Yes, we do, even though we denied and declined the certain jabs. Yes, but there will be certain benefits to you not having volunteered. There's this whole, it's voluntary. I think people, especially if you don't repent of taking those certain things, then I think that there are spiritual consequences for that. But for those of us that didn't, now breathing because they're in the like nanos in the air and the water and the food, we can't help that. That's not being done. We're not consenting to that. Also, just really important to, and most of you have already heard my spiel on this, But if you're an infant or a child, underage child, that you can't make your own decision, or if you're elderly and you have Alzheimer's or dementia or some other situation, you are not going to be held spiritually responsible. It is only people of age that can make a decision with the cognition to make a decision that are going to have those consequences. Let's see. I think it's a little late for the rapture because things are really at our door. Rebecca Young, it is the report that I'm speaking about is under um, free articles because I didn't want to charge for it. And that's the short version that I just gave today. The other version, it's going to take me maybe a day or whatever to get that posted just due to the hurricane. And my admin is out, and I'm scrambling to try and get my house ready for winter. So we're all like running. But in the next day or two, I'll be working on it after lunch this afternoon. I'll be working on it. So if I get it up, then it would be under the paid subscribers. So anybody that just joined my community at celestialreport2.com, um, the full information, I will be working on getting that video up uh, today that I presented last night with all of the details, every single bit of them. But for now, and really, if you're going to share with other people, you want the more condensed version. My condensed version is 3 pages. I think my other one was like 25 pages that I presented last night. Yes, at the beginning, I mentioned that they are going to use drones, satellites, all sorts of things to take out many different things. They are drilling down in the UN documents. It said they're going to the individual, to the family, certain religions, certain races, certain political persuasions, um, whole states, cities, and nations can be taken out in these going forward. Can I recommend a product to lose weight? The best things that you can do, I do a keto diet, veg and meat. I stay away from carbs and sugar. But one thing that we don't have in our body that I just recently started was Fatty 10. It's FATTY. What is it, 10 or 15? I can't remember. It's not even been a month. It's been like a couple weeks. But it reduces cravings. And there's another one that I just got, and that's anti-spike. And what you do is you take it if you are going to have a carb, like you're going to have a piece of pizza, you take that beforehand, and it's not Ozempic. So it's not like that. It's not a peptide, but it will prevent your body or slow it down from turning the food that you're eating into fat. I also really follow Dr. Hyman, Hyman. He's got great medical advice. It used to be before all heck broke loose this month, I would listen to him every morning, but now got, I'm just running until winter, and then I'll get back to it, I guess, if we have internet back then. Please make a community post section on, I don't I don't know what, please make a community post section on your YouTube channel to post links. I suppose after this, when I'm doing my whole like rest of my world after lunch, I can look into putting the link in the description of this video, this live video. But please share this. You're not going to hear it. They literally bragged that there was only a certain population that was going to see this information that I just shared with you. So they're not going to be very happy that it got out, and you you need to maybe download it to your computer, or however you might want to share it, or do transcript, so that you at least, even if something happens, let's say a hiccup happens, you have the text. Okay, couple more questions, and then I think I'm going better go check my lunch to see how it's doing. Yes, cyber farm. Skill sets are super important. Well, I'm not going to starve. Let's see, I've got all sorts of things growing inside my house. You wouldn't believe it looks like a garden. Um, as long as I'm only getting streaming. Well, right now I'm just streaming live on YouTube. This is different than my community meeting where I presented last night. Let's see. Yes, ice nucleation. They were playing with that. There's a lot in that document about a force multiplier. There's lots of different kinds of force multipliers, and ice nucleation is one of those reasons that Celeste is really scrambling to make sure her house is in order. Yes, Alana Freeland, she's awesome. I met her at Red Pill. I don't know Jonathan Kleck. I can't follow other people. I'm in the documents trying to get y'all information that's going to save your life. So I don't really follow too many people. You hear a name here or there, but I can't follow people. This Tammy Evans asked a very good question that was addressed. Is the U.S. going to be the main target? The U.S. and Europe. So basically the Western countries, but it is going to impact everybody. Let's see. Okay, everyone. It should be there. Let me go up to Celeste Report, and I can try, and then I'm going to have to find y'all again. Hold on. Okay, free articles. Okay, hang on just a sec, everyone. You're going to have to catch it, and then I'm going to I'll lose my place again answering everybody. I just am putting the direct link to the free article in the chat. So yes, it's there. Oh yeah, I'm doing more than sprouting. I even have like fruit trees and all of that inside. So okay, well, I think I'm going to sign off. I've been on for 45 minutes, which is longer than I thought, and that's about the time my dinner is supposed to be out. So God bless each one of you. Be safe. Remember, no fear, no fear. And I would love to have you join my community because they get the information first, and it's more detailed than I can put out there. I have a censorship-free platform, so you get more bang for your buck, if you know what I mean. So anyway, God bless each one of you. Like I said, you are the silver lining in my life, given my job or my calling. So we will see you the next time. Stay tuned. I do have another huge breaking story that I had to bump for this one. I think it's not going to happen until the beginning of next week, but it is huge. And stay tuned because I will pop on when I go through my sources, if I see anything that's going to impact you, I will bring it to you right away. I'll just go on air, drop what I'm doing. I might be in my scrubbies, but I will make an effort to the information out to you because things are going to be going really fast, like a snowball right now. So I'm ready for it, and I just pray that you are. So God bless.